Hello and welcome to another What the Chef, and today we've got ram goat soup. Yes, I bought this originally to do just a quick taste test video, and unbeknownst to me, this takes a lot of other ingredients, and you have to actually cook this for an hour. I'm sure that's been announced to a lot of other people, but to me, I had no idea. Now, the package called for some interesting things. It said specifically green finger bananas. Well, I found a green banana. I don't think it was talking about plantains. From what I did research on it, it really meant banana. So I found a banana. It's green. It's bigger than the finger bananas, which are usually the ones that are like that. Other than that, it said an Irish potato. Well, I guess Irish, close enough. It did also say yams, sweet potato, close enough. It said e-scallions. Well, I couldn't find any that were electric, but this regular old plain scallion should probably do just fine. And then it wanted some chocho. And when I looked up chocho, it's that chayote squash. So let's get some chopping done here. Alright, this is the absolute mountain of veg that I chopped up for this recipe. Now this is only like a third of what the recipe actually called for, and I can't even imagine how much it's planning to make if I triple this. The other thing is, I forgot to grab carrots. I thought I had some here and I did not. Also, I could not find goat. This wanted goat, specifically a goat's head and a goat's belly. I just found beef. We're gonna go with beef. Alright, now we got some butter melting in a pot. It did say use margarine, but I wish to live, and I want to use butter instead. So once we get that fully melted, then we're going to throw in our steak pieces. And to that, we're going to also season it with salt, pepper, garlic, allspice, and thyme. All right, it's sizzling away. Let's give it a little bit of allspice. Give it a little bit of thyme. And a nice dusting of garlic powder. And I've already done a little salt and pepper in there. And let's fry this up. Alright, now that the meat's kind of fried up a little bit, I want to show you the packaging. So this is the ram goat soup, and here is the massive list of ingredients. There are a few things that I may have substituted or changed just a slight bit, just because some of these things don't really make much sense. I mean, really, what's the difference between a yellow yam and a sweet potato? There's really not that much. Also, pimento berries is really just allspice, and I'm not a huge fan of Scotch bonnet level heat. So we just put in about 4 cups of water, so let's open up this packet here and dump it on in. Now, this ram goat soup does have another name, which I don't quite understand. It's called Manish water. So, yeah, oh. Okay. Wasn't expecting that. It's like bricks of seasoning. Looks like a little bit of pasta in there. Yeah, I think it did say it had some sort of macaroni product is the first ingredient. Well, how about that? Now, it does also say you can put dumplings in here, so maybe I'll do that too. Also going in is the giant bowl of vegetables. And I can tell you, with the amount of water that it called for and how much vegetables it actually called for, there is no way this all would have fit in there. The original recipe wanted us to put 2 pounds of meat, 2 pounds of sweet potatoes, a whole pound of regular potatoes, 6 whole bananas, and still only 4.5 cups of water. Well, I can tell you right now, if I put in that many pounds of potatoes, it would be overflowing out of this pot. Now, the only other liquid that goes in here, strangely enough, is about a 1/4 cup of vinegar, which isn't out of the question for Jamaican food. I do put that in when I make a curry. And the other thing it says is optionally, you can put some white rum. Now, I don't happen to have any white rum, but as I was coming home, some random guy with an eye patch just came up to me and handed me this skull. He said, yo ho, this is what you need, a bottle of rum. And I guess he was right. So let's put some of this in there as well. All right, now it smells pretty good, but we're gonna have to let this thing cook for at least 30 minutes. It says up to an hour. So I'm going to put a lid on it, and we'll revisit this a little later. Alright, now while that's cooking, we're going to try out some Jamaican snacks. Now I have a couple of different kinds of juices here, which look very interesting. I also got what I can only imagine is almost like a meal replacement. And then I also have a bag of chips of some sort. So let's have probably the most recognizable drink here. It is called June Plum with ginger. Now, I know what plum tastes like. I have no idea what June plum tastes like. So let's give this a little bit of a shake up just so it's all well mixed. It does say it contains 25% juice. It says June plum puree, sugar, Jamaican ginger, and a bunch of, vitamin C and stabilizers, all that kind of good stuff. It does also say it was made on the Bog Walk Street, which bog in some places is not somewhere you want to drink from. So let's hope it's not that kind of water. Let's open it on up and pour us out a little bit of a taste. It is a little concerning that this felt like it was already open. Let me check the other one. Well, that's horribly concerning. I have a feeling this was already opened by somebody, and somebody took a drink out of it. But it is hard to tell. It is down about here already, and this one, which is a different flavor, is down to only about the bottom of the fold. Yeah. All right, let's see how it looks when it comes out. Let's see if it's actually putrid. Doesn't look putrid. Yep. I take that back. It does, in fact, look putrid. It has a floating piece of mold in it. Well, that one's going back to the store. Let's have a nice sniff just see what it would have been like. It smells like grass. All right, let's dump this out and we'll go for the other one. All right, I'm back with a brand new glass because I don't trust that at all. And when the safe one comes out molded, don't have high hopes with what's going to come after that. This next one is called Sorrel, I'm not even 100% sure. Let's see, Aqua, this is in a different language. Filtered water, sorrel extract, sugar, Jamaican ginger, and all the good vitamin C's and stabilizers and all that nonsense again. Once again from Bog Walk. Hopefully we don't once again have some bog in it like we did in that first one. So let's pour this one out into the glass. All right, this one is coming out as like medicine pink, pinkish red. It's hard to tell. Oh, I don't even know what a sorrel really is. Okay. Doesn't have too much of a scent. It's kind of berry-like. There's no mold in this one, though, so we can at least taste it. Woo! That is sweet. Okay. And it's not bad. It kind of reminds me of like a light cranberry juice. Like a very light, somewhere between cranberry and cherry. Let's have another taste. Ooh, and that ginger hits you as like a note that follows. So you got the really sweet sorrel, I would imagine, and then it's followed by just a little bit of a spicy ginger. That's pretty good. In fact, I quite like that one. I feel like I would have liked this one minus the mold. Well, let's move on to the next thing that I know is sealed because it's a can. And this is called Supplegen, and it does say liquid meal supplement for strength and energy. Now, the concern with this one is the flavor, and we'll get to that in just a second. So let's look at the back and see what sort of things is in it. There's lots of sugar, there's some protein, lots of potassium, all kinds of vitamin A, calcium, vitamin D, all the good stuff that you could ever want in a meal replacement. But the flavor on this one is Irish moss. Now, I don't really know what that is. I did not look these up ahead of time just because I want to be fully surprised. I don't want you think, oh, what the heck is a sorrel on here? It looks like flowers. And then I look it up and it's just a type of berry. I'm like, oh, that's not going to be that bad. Irish moss is concerning, especially when the drink kind of looks like coffee. But it doesn't contain coffee to my knowledge. Let's see, water, Irish moss extract, sugar, milk solids, soybean oil, modified starch, soya flour, stabilizer, calcium, vanilla flavor, nutmeg, cinnamon, a lot of vitamins and minerals. May contain egg. I don't think it has egg. But this one at least isn't from the bog. This one is from Spanish Town Road in Kingston. So let's go ahead and give it a nice mix up in the can, and let's open it up and see how nasty Irish moss is. First, okay, it just looks like milk. It looks like a chocolatey, or even like a just coffee with cream in it. Once again, has no scent whatsoever. Okay, maybe it does a little bit. I kind of smell the vanilla. Let's give it a shot. Whoa, that's thick. Ooh, that's goopy. Doesn't taste bad. Kind of just tastes like Slim Fast, like one of those like generic chocolate meal replacement sort of breakfast things. In fact, that's probably what I'm going to save this for. It's just so like thick and goopy. In fact, let's make some room in this cup so you can take a look. All right, let's pour it on in here and see how it comes out. Oh, that's so thick. I mean, it's hard to really get that on camera, like how goop like it is. It doesn't really like stick to the glass. It's solid. Uh, all right. I'll have another sip of it. Oh, it just so slowly comes down the glass. The flavor is fine, but it's like nasty thick. It's like unset pudding is kind of like the consistency of this. So we'll put that aside. I'll probably drink that in the morning. You know, it's a nice meal replacement. Now we do have the so-called chips. This is called malanga. And it does not look like it's potato at all. It kind of looks like what I would imagine kind of looks like a yuca thing. So let's see what it actually says on the back. Ingredients. Malanga. I guess in another language it's called dashin, which I think is some Japanese thing, but this is all Jamaican. In fact, let's see where this one was from. Well, this one's actually from Costa Rica, but it is distributed by the Jamaican Biscuit Company. At least that makes it Jamaican, I guess. But it seems pretty straightforward. This would be considered like an original, where it's just got some salt on it. So let's taste that. Alright, so these are more like a sheet. This isn't like normal round potato chip shape. This is like a sheet of shaved dashin, malanga, whatever you want to call it, tabangadu. And let's give it a shot. Not bad at all. It doesn't taste potatoey. Kind of tastes like nothing when you're eating it. You get the salt. It's got like an aftertaste that's kind of just root vegetable-like. Not bad. I wouldn't say this replaces potato chips, but I'd finish this bag with no problem. Alright, so these, besides the mold, aren't that bad. So when the soup's done, we'll try that out as well. Alright, so it's all done. Here's everything in a bowl. I did this wide bowl just so you can kind of get an idea of what everything came out like. You could see the dumplings I made there, which were just random chunks of dough thrown in, which is kind of what is suggested on the pouch. You can see how the banana kind of cooked down. Looks kind of funky. You can see those squash thingies over here, which I was told taste kind of like a zucchini. Here's, of course, the sweet potato, the regular potato, those green onions / scallions. Yeah, they kind of turn to dark. The pasta that was in it, you can see it. There's one. Yeah, it definitely needed more than what was in there. So let's give it a taste test. All right, first things first, just let's taste the broth. Let's see how this came out. It's all right. Kind of just tastes like mildly flavored beef broth, I guess. Now, the funny thing is, this technically, not only did it call for like 3 times the amount of meat and vegetables, it called for 1 more cup of water for that same little pouch that I dumped in here. If it's so mildly flavored right now, I can't even imagine if I added all this extra vegetables and water into this thing, you wouldn't have tasted anything from that pouch. But let's see how everything else came out, because we do have a lot of things to try in here. Let's try out a piece of the beef. Besides it being like 1,000 degrees, not bad. Just tastes like boiled beef, I guess you could say. Now I'm very interested to see how this banana came out. I'm just afraid that this is going to be like lava. So it weirdly took on like a potato taste. You would not have expected that. You still kind of get that banana, like floral banana note, but it mostly tastes like potato, which is very strange. Now let's try out that squash thing. I got a little slice here. Hopefully this is also not like lava. All right. That's really good. I honestly have never had one of those before. I can kind of see where they're coming from when they say zucchini. It isn't quite zucchini. It's on the way to zucchini, but it's also, it holds its texture more. It doesn't get mushy like a zucchini. So it's got a little bit of a crunch to it. Honestly, that was really good. I'm going to have to use that in something else. Let's try one of my strange dumplings I made here. It generally just tastes like a lump of wet dough, which is what I expected. That is what it suggested to do. Maybe I made them a little too large. It's hard to say. It didn't really specify size. It just kind of said mix flour, water, and salt together and throw them in chunks. That's what I did. So it came out all right. I think it needs some more salt, which is surprising when you think of it. Packaged soup mixes are usually salty as can be, especially when you don't put in all the water it calls for. But otherwise, this is going to be my actual dinner. It's not terrible. Put a little salt on it, it'll be pretty good. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.